Yes, guys, we're back reacting to Cyraxx's Horrifying History by Turkey Tom. Go and check out the full documentary in the description and let's get it.
Well, the trolls did little besides sending outlandish threats of all sorts to Cyraxx, even going as far as calling his home phone to inform him that they had planted a bomb in Sally's car, which Cyraxx reported to the police, and once the car was checked out and no device was found in it, he made a video on his Facebook page mocking his trolls. Eventually, they evolved and realized that if they were going to get any quality lolcow content out of him, they would have to be working on the inside. One of the first to do it was by the name of Boogeyman, who began interacting directly with Cyraxx and even received a voice message from him explaining the candle situation. Around the same time, a juggalo act called the Bender Boys also got involved in trolling Cyraxx in some unknown fashion, earning the ire of the Madman of Akron. Well, it gets
what does Bender mean in the USA? Because over here it means like it used to be a derogatory term for homosexual. So I'm just wondering, can someone comment below if it's got anything to do with that? I'm just curious.
Increasingly difficult to find the exact dates and details for things from around this time. The closest I found was that a channel very tightly associated with the Bender Boys, called Brooklyn Menace, posted a video edit of Cyraxx playing around with a samurai sword under the title Cyraxx Shaolin. After a month or so of gratuitously terrorizing him, the more sophisticated trolls took a page out of the Daniel Larson textbook, deciding to pose as a record label interested in signing Cyraxx. In late October, he posted a video about how he finally made it.
See, a lot of people don't realize it.
Like, for context, yeah, he's been signed, quote unquote, to like 10 labels so far, supposedly. None of them real. Half of them probably a complete figment of his imagination, and he tries to start his own labels and tries to pass himself off as a successful musician, but no, man.
Terrorizing him, the more sophisticated trolls took a page out of the Daniel Larson textbook, deciding to pose as a record label interested in signing Cyraxx. In late October, he posted a video about how he finally made it.
See, a lot of people don't realize it, but thanks to the haters over on YouTube on my new channel, I got some exposure. Got hooked up with a major underground artist who just happens to be working with some big names in the industry.
After years of struggling as an
So he said, oh, I finally made it. That's what he says every time. I finally made it. Like, but he never made, like, he's never made it. Like, but then he will say that he's the most successful musician of the past 10 years. You think I'm exaggerating? Go watch the full documentary. He literally says that. Like, he acts as if he's made it 1 minute, and like he's rolling in cash, yeah, and then the next minute he's finally made it. Like, you just can't keep it straight, man.
Independent musician, he finally succeeds. And to follow this poetic note, it appears that the new Heather is spending some time at the Cyraxx household, as we have footage of her from around this time, kissing Cyraxx and fighting trolls alongside him. It is shocking to see that Heather physically chokes and coughs upon kissing what has been dubbed by the trolls the trench mouth. However, good times don't always last. I believe that October of 2019 is the most accurate time frame for the rise of Cyraxx's arch nemesis and primary troll, the King of Akron, Music Biz Marty. From what is available online, we can deduce that Music Biz Marty approached Cyraxx as someone interested in managing his merch shop, only
someone like Cyraxx would fall for a name like that, Music Biz Marty. It's so on the nose,
proceed to claim control over the merch store and play the role of a cartoonishly greedy corporate record label executive who tricked Cyraxx into signing away the rights of all of his merchandise to the evil Ram Ranch Records. In a video from this period, Cyraxx can be seen begging for Marty to stop what he's doing and pretending to cry while asking to be left alone.
You are degrading me. You're ruining my image as an artist, as a person. You are sick.
In order to play Cyraxx for a fool more effectively, he creates a false dichotomy between Ram Ranch Records and Bender Boys Records, which he was also indirectly in control of. It becomes very difficult to verify whether this manifestation of the Bender Boys has any direct relation to the previous one, and how exactly Cyraxx's relationship with the Juggernauty ended, but in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter that much. This period was rife with Cyraxx's participations on the Juggalo show, including one where he appears to be freestyling a diss track on Marty, who is also in the call, while a Juggalo and member of IP2 named Gucci's twerks to it.
Does squitter mean what I think it means? Surely not. Like, I wouldn't have even like paid second mind to that word, but the fact that it's got juggalo in the same name, and squitter and top and queen, like what the hell?
Bars. You could not make this up if you tried to. In early November, the setup concocted by Marty and the Bender Boys comes into play, as Cyraxx is convinced he has successfully escaped the talons of Ram Ranch Records by joining the Bender Boys label.
Oh, that I'm not gonna lie, that leather jacket is smooth, bro, but like it kind of looks weird on you because it's so smooth.
Despite this taking place only a couple of weeks after his supposed signing to Juggernaut, after believing he joined the Bender Boys, he delivered one of, if not the funniest moment during the entirety of the Cyraxx story. To celebrate it, he posts a video wearing what looks to be an oversized pleather jacket and sunglasses, all of which is juxtaposed against the regular scenario of his insane asylum white-walled containment zone he calls a bedroom. He begins the video by drinking some kind of clearly non-alcoholic beige fluid, as if it were champagne, before proceeding to give shoutouts to any and every person he's ever interacted with, like he was receiving a Grammy. Another noticeable thing is the change in his affectation.
He's laughing all day long, laughing.
By drinking some kind of clearly non-alcoholic beige fluid, as if it were champagne, before proceeding to give shoutouts to any and every person he's ever interacted with, like he was receiving a Grammy. Another noticeable thing is the change in his affectation. He puts on a slightly New York accent with Ebonics to go with it.
I figured I'd come in, celebrate, kick it, chill. Got a brand new dope track dropping with some of the homies.
Cyraxx can also be seen visibly calculating the best moments for him to take off his sunglasses dramatically, and he does it when he decides to talk about how the deal with BBR will help him take care of his kids. He obviously does not have, and I'm not even sure he's physiologically capable of having, kids, and what he's referring to here are new Heather's kids, but we'll explain that part in a little bit. Eventually, he's joined on a stream by someone with whom he's planning to
his missus doesn't have kids, does she? That is concerning.
Will help him take care of his kids. He obviously does not have, and I'm not even sure he's physiologically capable of having, kids, and what he's referring...
By the way, I don't just say that, like, I'm not, like, bullying him. If you don't know anything about Cyraxx, there's a reason why you not really want your children around him.
Here are new...
Go look it up. Well, you don't need... You could just take my word for it and save yourself getting scarred.
Kids, but we'll explain that part in a little bit. Eventually, he's joined on a stream by someone with whom he's planning to drop a song, and we later learn that dropping a song and music video was a part of his contract with BBR. The song comes out, and it sounds like you'd expect it to.
Nah, shit.
And now, the other shoe drops, alleging that his single under...
Oh man, this video is never gonna get monetized. Oh well.
Performed terribly. Bender Boys Records.
I may as well go all out now.
It's called Cyraxx up to deliver some bad news.
Yo, Cyraxx.
Actually, I kind of caught the before the T, didn't I? I hope. Did I? Okay, I'll try and keep it clean. I think you can get away with like a couple of cuss words in a video anyway, as long as they're not like too profane.
And now, the other shoe drops. Alleging that his single underperformed terribly, Bender Boys Records called Cyraxx up to deliver some bad news.
Yo, Cyraxx, I got an announcement to make. The video's not doing as well.
So, like, I reckon he started to recording just because he thought it was going to be a flex, like his record label calling him, you know, like, oh, that new track was banging, or like whatever he wants to call it, that new track was dope. And then, like, he's getting fired or something.
As we thought it was going to. Speaking with the team here at Bender Boys Records, they deemed you unmanageable.
How?
We had to sell your contract, man.
Wait, what the fuck? Are you serious right now?
We sold it this morning.
Are you fucking serious? I put in all that hard work for nothing.
Oh, they're completely trolling him, I think. I think they're in cahoots with Music Biz Marty.
Are you serious right now? Bro, you're fucking stupid. I put in all that hard work for you and the crew for what?
Do you want to know who we sold it to?
Work?
I already know. Music Marty's a fucking comeback.
As of that day onward, Cyraxx and his music were the intellectual property of none other than Music Biz Marty, and things can only get worse from there. Due to Heather's very close involvement with Cyraxx's online presence, she was often seen alongside him during his live streams, which was Cyraxx's main vehicle of communication at this point. While it didn't look like she was very interested in Chance as a romantic partner, perhaps the attention he got online, even if negative, was her motive. And if it was attention she was after, she definitely got it. On November 22nd, one of Cyraxx's anonymous trolls makes a phone call reporting that Chance was being mean and violent to Heather, taking her phone by force and refusing to give it back. The results of this call have been archived since the police showed up at the house during another one of the Juggalo congregations, prompting
nowadays that's like one of the most abusive non-physical things you can do to a woman is take her phone, or a man, I suppose. Like that is like completely, that's the equivalent of the 50s not letting your missus leave the house ever, like, because she'll show her bruises and all that sort of like crap. Like, if you take someone's phone, you're like disconnecting them from the world essentially nowadays. So that is really abusive, man.
Cyraxx to immediately tell Heather to follow him upstairs, also known as the Goblin Hideout, for whenever someone visits his house. The police were told that they were sleeping and that the call was a prank. However, 3 days later, that call prophetically came true, as on the 25th, another police report was filed, this time by someone named Mike. In it, Chance is described as hitting his girlfriend during a live stream on YouTube, but I haven't managed to find any video to match that specific date. When the police arrived at the location, the two were spoken with and claimed there was no occurrence. Given the lack of hard evidence, we can presume that Chance did no such thing. I mean, just months before posting, he was posting videos to his Facebook about how a man that lays his hands on a woman is a coward. There's no way he was projecting, right? Well, a day after, during a live stream Heather was a part of where she was talking to one of the people following the Cyraxx story, Cyraxx himself eventually intervenes and is seen attempting to yank the phone out of Heather's hand violently, which some saw as an overly aggressive action. The same a day after, during a live stream Heather was a part of where she was talking to one of the people following the Cyraxx story, Cyraxx himself eventually intervenes and is seen attempting to yank the phone out of Heather's hand violently, which some saw as an overly aggressive action.
Some, like, that is overly aggressive, man. Like, one, it's theft. Like, it's robbery, really, if you think about it, technically. Just because they're boyfriend and girlfriend don't mean you're not robbing her phone off of her, bro. And it's assault as well. Like I'm sure you could get in trouble for that. Like, I suppose it all depends on context, doesn't it? But at the end of the day, like, you can't be doing that sort of thing, man. I bet all she did was, like, someone said something about, like, in the call, that other lass on the left said something about Cyraxx, and then Heather just innocently laughed at something, maybe, and then Cyraxx was just like, no.
The same day, a troll once again made a call to Akron PD to report what had happened, and they conducted a welfare check. Not only do we have what was on the police report, which claimed Heather was acknowledging Chance's abuse to the person she was like,
I've seen the Book of Mormon be able to change my life so much. We would love to give you one as well. As you can see, we have lots of
Christian, so I really
click the link
don't like
below and
Mormonism.
missionaries will drop it off at your house.
No offense to any Mormons. No offense to any Mormons who are watching, but as like I know you see yourselves as Christians, and I'm not saying you're not Christians, but, like, I'm really not down with Mormonism at all.
But we also have the phone call made by the troll.
Chance J. Wilkins, is a 28 or 29-year-old man.
The voice changer and everything.
He had struck his girlfriend, Heather Porter, who is currently pregnant.
Just 2 days.
You know, you screwed up, yeah, when you got a juggalo. Was it a juggalo? I was going to call it a juggernaut then. When you got a juggalo calling you out and ratioing you for being morally dubious.
Days later, the same person Heather was talking to on the live stream was investigating further into her lore and ended up interviewing Jessica, Heather's former wife. Man, things just get more and more complicated, don't they? It turns out that Heather...
That's a bit of a twist.
...left her wife with their 2 kids in order to link up with DJ Shadowblade. As 2020 approached, it became clear that any semblance of humanity the tale of Cyraxx ever possessed was doomed to be extinguished by the relentless activity of malicious trolls and Cyraxx himself, of course. All of his hobbies took the backseat as he began doing nothing but participating in live streams and endlessly interacting with people, either pretending to be fans or explicitly insulting and mocking him to his face. In late December,
I said this in other parts, yeah. I'm really not down with trolling or bullying. I don't like it. Yeah, I think it's like it can be abhorrent because anyway. Like I'm not the only person who feels like that. But like an innocent bit of trolling, like fair enough. But like with Cyraxx, I can forgive the. I don't want to say the wrong thing, like, and get this video in trouble. I can understand the trolling, even though I wouldn't do it personally. I completely understand it, given what his track record and some of the heinous things he's done.
For 2019, he can be seen boxing through Google Hangouts with someone named Suplex City Vlog, and it's exactly what it sounds like. January 2020 begins with Cyraxx claiming he's becoming a...
They're not even facing the same direction.
2019, he can be seen boxing through Google Hangouts with someone named Suplex City Vlog. And
what was the hand trembling about, man? I'm not taking light of alcoholism, but it looked like he had, like, flipping DTs.
Or explicitly insulting and mocking him to his face. In late December 2019, he can be seen boxing through Google Hangouts with someone named Suplex City Vlog. And it's exactly what it sounds like. January 2020 begins with Cyraxx claiming he's becoming a gamer once and for all, and considering his extensive use use of the N-word, I think he's always been one. On the 4th, he loses a bet he made with fellow troll Schmecklecat that he could keep his cool against the trolls and not flip out for a week. Supposedly, losing this bet cost him $100, but I'm pretty sure Cyraxx has never even seen a $100 bill. In a video of his where he derides Jamie Nicole for her inquiries towards Cyraxx's abusive nature and Heather's past life, he can be heard calling Juggernauty Records Jugganazis, meaning he probably had a bad falling out with them, which is unsurprising since that name is closely associated with the Bender Boys. On the 12th, pictures of Cyraxx's dick leak via Discord. Initially, many thought they were fake.
I wonder how big it is, yeah, because that's why I think he keeps getting chicks, because, like, I can't think of any other reason. I don't think it's his personality. I don't think he has a sense of humour. Like, I don't think it's his looks. Like, he always, and the birds he gets are always, like, he's always punching above his weight with the birds that he pulls. So, like, is he, like, a unit down there or what?
Including CGC, who's responsible for some of the best archiving and documenting of Cyraxx's story. However, upon their reporting on Jamie Nicole's channel, a commenter, presumably Heather, started saying he'd been hacked and was asleep when it happened. What was noteworthy about this is that it was neither a defense nor a denial, and given how often Cyraxx and his cohorts have used being hacked as an excuse for their behavior, it's most likely a lie as well. Not only was the picture his, it was probably acquired by a catfish who persuaded Cyraxx into cheating on Heather. After all, Heather and Cyraxx were living together at this time. I'm not sure what use a picture of his willy would have been to her, especially since it was
willy, that's what we say in the UK.
Clear that they were already not on.
No, you say it when you're a kid. It's like a polite way of saying it. I've never heard an American use that expression in my life. I don't know. Tom is a cultured man.
Very good terms.
Oh, was he about to smack her?
Cyraxx were living together at this time. I'm not sure what use a picture of his willy would have been to her, especially since it was clear that
smack in the UK means like punch. It doesn't just mean slap.
They were already not on very good terms.
Oh, he was gonna.
Cyraxx were living together at this time. I'm not sure what use a picture of his willy would have been to her, especially since it was clear that they were already not on very good terms.
Oh.
Knock your lights out.
Oh, I think the only reason he stopped himself was because he was on stream. Oh no, that's awful, man. Like, but yeah, I believe her. She could have knocked him out, but it's not the point.
In the wake of the leak, Cyraxx says that he'll be taking a step back from being online, but in a video from just a couple of days later, he qualifies it by saying he'll only take a step back from the streams, but will continue to be as online as ever on other fronts, because according to him, he comes from a family of artists and has art.
Sorry guys, I just realized, like, because I'm holding my my phone in one hand. Wait, because I'm holding my phone in one hand, so I can do the pausing and that. I was shaking. So it probably looked like I was fapping to Cyraxx.
Deep in his blood. This is cause for concern since there's only one thing he has a family history of, and it's not art. Later on in the month, Heather and Cyraxx are back to streaming, and Heather has completely hijacked the transmission, standing in the foreground while Cyraxx hovers around in the back, taking her commands.
You done effed up. I was about to say Marty or Morty then. You done effed up, Cyraxx. Now you got... Now you're whipped.
He began attacking Jamie Nicole for her coverage of the couple's mishaps, including but not
I bet off camera she beat his ass, man. I bet she was like, you gonna hit me? Nah, fam. Like, beat his ass.
To Cyraxx's pictures, and once Cyraxx calls her retarded, Heather starts telling him not to use that word and tells him to go take some stuff out so she can deal with it on her own. Then, while Heather starts accusing Jamie of not being a real juggalo, which is as scathing of an insult as they could come up with, Cyraxx comes in unsolicited and starts insulting Jamie for being a lesbian.
To be fair, Tom, like, I reckon that is like quite a big insult to someone who thinks themselves a juggalo, because they take that. I keep trying not to cuss. They take that stuff seriously, man. Like, they are like dedicated.
This visibly irritates Heather since she was at one point in a relationship with a woman, as Jamie had revealed. Being unfazed by their milquetoast attacks, Jamie proceeds to report on and lambast the GoFundMe Cyraxx and Heather had set up with the intent of raising money to take back Heather's kids from Jessica. Now, I'm not sure in what situation Jessica was in or if she was capable of taking care of 2 kids, but there's no way they would be better off in Cyraxx's house. Full stop. Either way, they would have just pocketed the GoFundMe money, since legally I'm pretty sure they couldn't get the kids, and a fundraiser page could do nothing about that. When Heather wasn't around to monopolize the camera, Cyraxx made his own diss video against Jamie where he threatened to physically beat her. What an absolute class act, guys. After complaining about his private parts being posted online, having ruined his chances of ever getting a job or being signed to a label, two things that, keep in mind, had never happened up until this point, he's challenged to a fist fight by one of his trolls, Juggalo John. The story—
No, that's not fair. Look at, you can tell that guy's massive, man. Don't pick on little kids, man.
That John did indeed go to Cyraxx's house, but Cyraxx, as he always does, hid in the attic until John went away, and
to be fair, like, Cyraxx does, like, act like a bad man, yeah? Like, he brings it upon himself, to be fair.
What an absolute class act, guys. After complaining about his private parts being posted online, having ruined his chances of ever getting a job or being signed to a label, two things that, keep in mind, had never happened up until this point, he's challenged to a fist fight by one of his trolls, Juggalo John. The story goes that John did indeed go to Cyraxx's house, but Cyraxx, as he always does, hid in the attic until John went away, and when it was nighttime, he came out and had Heather record him acting tough in front of some swing sets.
Oh, dear.
I'm down here by the community center.
This dude shouldn't even be in a kids' park, period, man.
LeBron James first guy to start right there, boy. You're talking about showing me up. Here I am ready for your ass. Your punk ass ain't show up, you coward.
His next move is—
I bet the instant that video was filmed, he run back inside in case the guy was still around. Like, he looks, oh man, you can tell he sounds scared, man.
Story goes that John did indeed go to Cyraxx's house, but Cyraxx, as he always does, hid in the attic until John went away, and when it was nighttime, he came out and had Heather record him acting tough in front of some swing sets.
What's up, John? I'm down here by the community center where LeBron James first guy to start right there, boy. You're talking about showing me up. Here I am ready for your ass. Your punk ass ain't show up, you coward.
Do you know what? I reckon Cyraxx can throw a surprisingly hard punch, given his stature. Like, one, he's got like he's got like super genetic things happening. Two, he's very, very angry. He's got a lot of anger built up, and he's been bullied a lot. And three, also sort of because he's been bullied, he must have had to like punch someone back at some point.
Next move is to try to take down music business.
Oh yeah, and you would be shocked at his abs, yeah? His abs and his chest, yeah? They're actually ripped. Like, I mean, he needs to work on his traps and his arms and that, yeah? But like, he's absolutely ripped, yeah? And like your your abs are like a big part of you punching as you pivot from your foot up your legs to your abs to your— I'm not going to get into it, but like yeah, like I reckon he can punch surprisingly hard, you know? I reckon he's got a big schlong and he can punch really hard. And those are the two things he's got going for him. Everything else is trashed.
By the community center where LeBron James first guy to start right there, boy.
Oh, stop laughing, dude.
Here I am ready for your ass. Your punk ass ain't show up.
Stop laughing.
His next move is to try to take down Music Biz Marty and his merch store by claiming that he owns copyright on his work, which is very ironic considering that all the artwork is stolen, of course. The day after publicly defending her honor and saying that Heather is the greatest mother in the world, Heather calls the cops to report people threatening Cyraxx online. The modern Romeo and Juliet. A few days later, Cyraxx made a fake account on YouTube called Shadow King, and using a voice changer, he starts pretending to be an impartial third party who happens to defend Cyraxx and Heather against the trolls. On another video from February, he reveals that Jessica has apparently charged Cyraxx with civil assault, though it's unsure what for. He uses this, along with the trolls, as an excuse as to why he's unemployed.
What the hell is civil assault? How can assault be civil? I'm not even trying to make a joke. Like, what is that?
The trolls. On another video from February, he reveals that Jessica has apparently charged Cyraxx with civil assault, though it's unsure what for. He uses this, along with the trolls, as an excuse as to why he's unemployed, blaming the trolls for your personal failures, another great lolcow classic. In order to exact justice for what had been done to him, he challenges Marty and his other trolls.
Again, I'm not trying to bully you, but I could see him being a mechanic. I mean, not like tech, like, because he'd be skilled at it, or even potentially able to even get to that point. But I could imagine walking into a mechanic's and seeing him or something. I'd still be a bit like, oh, like, but like, no, that was mean. I meant like, whoa, like, no, I can't make that any better than what I did already. Like that's already, I've already dug myself a pit. But yeah, I can imagine him being a mechanic or something like that, and I'd maybe trust him working on my car, but I can't picture him serving me food or, you know, like anything else other than that, like grave digging. I don't know.
So it's unsure what for. He uses this along with the trolls as an excuse as to why he's unemployed, blaming the trolls for your personal failures. Another great.
Again, I'm not bullying or trying to encourage people to bully him. He brings this on himself, man. He's always been a nasty piece of work, like the way he acts to people and treats people and talks to people. And I'm not a fan of bullying at all. I'm just making observations, man.
Old cow classic. In order to exact justice for what had been done to him, he challenges Marty and his other trolls to step up to the mic and rap battle him. However, upon failing time and time again to defeat the trolls, he decides to step away from social media to focus on his artwork, and he claims it's somehow related to a book his great-grandmother released, making him realize he needs to focus more on being an artist. But, given what he had just said, following this video, he actually managed to spend exactly 1 month away from his social media. But it's more likely that Sally grounded him for a
He managed, no way. Yeah, I reckon he did get grounded. I bet she changed the Wi-Fi password. There's no way that he spent a month away from the internet. I'm sure he's chronically online.
An artist. But given what he had just said, following this video, he actually managed to spend exactly 1 month away from his social media. But it's more likely that Sally grounded him for a month with no access. On the 15th of March, he comes back guns blazing, accusing Jessica of being a kidnapper for not letting Heather and Cyraxx raise her 2 kids. After this, there's another long break from archive videos, probably due to another punitive measure from Sally, who is beginning to realize Cyraxx could get in some serious trouble for constantly making allegations like that online. After this, he only resurges in May to give his final farewell to YouTube due to the cyberbullying he's undergoing. He's now under the name of Scarface with an X in the middle, and is visibly inhabiting the basement. He also announces a new label, and the first thing he makes sure to establish is how he'll be taking 30% of his artist income, despite not being interested in establishing anything contractually with them. However, soon after, he basically admits that his entire family is telling him to stop being online, and he reiterates this 2 days later. But just 3 days.
What is he even offering for that 30%? I don't get it. What does he have to offer? Like his expertise? Like he hasn't got expertise. He hasn't got any talent. Like what? He can't even manage himself, let alone an artist. Like artists are hard to deal with, man. Like.
Is how he'll be taking 30% of his artist income, despite not being interested in establishing anything contractually with them. However, soon after, he basically admits that his entire family is telling him to stop being online, and he reiterates this 2 days later. But just 3 days later, he comes back, declaring he's now officially an e-racer because a retired professional motorcycle racer that he's really good at Forza Horizon. Another 3 days later, he comes back to
you ain't as good as me, bro. Wait till I upload some videos. I'll play on manual gears. I bet you don't do that.
Tell everyone that his relationship with Heather was officially over. Well, he explains it in a way that's favorable to him. It's clear even through his retelling that he was threatening to hurt himself in a manipulative way. And when she didn't budge because she knew he wasn't capable of such a thing, he posted a video online crying about the incident, claiming that she's heartless.
No, you can't be doing that. That's the trying to guilt trip someone into staying with you by using threat of that. That is not cool, man. Like that's about as manipulative like as it gets. My best friend who ended himself, he got really poorly towards the end, and he got like abusive in a relationship with this lass, and it was really bad. Like he got really mentally ill, and I really feel for this lass. I don't think he hit her, but he got abusive. And what was we just talking about? Oh yeah, he used to keep her on the leash basically by saying, oh, if you blah blah blah, then I'm gonna blah blah blah. Like, and I had to just stop talking to him, because I kept telling him, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do this, you can't do that. What are you doing? Where are you going? Like, why are you like this now? Like, and he just kept getting worse and worse and worse. There's something I could say like that he threatened to do, and I'm not going to, but it was worse, if you can believe it or not.
Make a note here that he's just making a crying voice and turn the lights off so it would be less noticeable.
Don't get me wrong, like it absolutely breaks my heart that he's dead. But it also breaks my heart that he got to that point where he was abusive, because he was such a cool guy. Like growing up, like we were literally best friends, man. But yeah, I had to cut ties with him because of how abusive he was getting. And then 2 months later, yeah, boof, he's gone. And it's kind of like killed me ever since. Really, I don't know how to grieve it properly, because I kind of feel like I did lose my best friend, but at the end, he was someone else. Like, so it's hard to grieve because someone who I didn't like died, but then it was almost like I was grieving the person he was before, And then when the person he became died, I wasn't grieving that. I was grieving who he was. It's so weird. I'm still going through it.
He's not crying. Just a day later, he's back doing his usual gimmick.
Heather.
Why are you talking like a Bond villain, bro?
When are you gonna learn, little girl, that calling you out on your bullshit like I did last night, that's not a threat. I did not threaten you in any way, shape, or form.
Again, Cyraxx is the master of inadvertently telling on himself, and from the video, we can gather that Heather is alleging he's been threatening her. Maybe he noticed that trying to intimidate Heather with his WWE persona made him look bad, so the very same day, he goes back to pretending to cry in the dark about the incident. Right after...
I was laughing at the WWE persona part, not the abusive part, just to make that clear.
He makes another video wherein he admits to having gotten physical with her at least once, meaning he is officially back to his domestic violence arc. In the immediate follow-up, we discover that Cyraxx is an MO. He tries to choke people out, and then when he gets in trouble for it, he claims he blacked out and did it while unconscious, which is...
Alright, we're gonna leave it at that for now, guys. Because, yeah, this video is probably already about half hour, 40 minutes long. So, yeah, we're gonna do the rest of it in another part, maybe later on today or tomorrow. And, yeah, stay tuned for that. Subscribe for more. Check out my other content, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.